Hello and welcome to Hot Commodities, and I'm Anisha Gupta, and it's been a year since the NSEL scam broke, and today we will bring you a special coverage of this very big scam that almost brought commodity exchanges on their knees. But first, the headlines. In a fresh setback for Ketan Shah, the Bombay High Court today deferred its verdict on Shah's bail plea till the Mumbai police files its charge sheet as part of the probe. And a year passes away after the NSEL scam broke. Of the 5,600 crores, only 356 crores has been recovered from the defaulters. Only 2 of the 24 defaulters have so far repaid the dues. And NSEL will file recovery suits and lodge FIRs against all defaulting members. The move comes after regulator FMC asks the Commodity Spot Exchange to strengthen its recovery team and file suits in this regard. We have a power-packed panel joining us on the show this evening. All the players in this scam are here in our studios. NSEL Chairman joins us, who is Uttam Prakash Agarwal. We also are joined by Ketan Shah, who is President of NSEL Investors Action Group. We also have in our studios Arun Dalmia of NSEL Investors Forum. We have with us C Khatua, who is former Chairman of Forward Market Commission, and Chirag Shah is from Phillip Capital. But before we go to across our guests, let's first recap this case. And it is exactly 1 year since July 31st, 2013, when NSEL, or the National Spot Exchange Limited, suspended trading in one-day forward contracts and deferred settlements following the government directive, which said that the exchange was violating rules by allowing contracts of tenure longer than 11 days. Many discrepancies before that were reported on the exchange pertaining to the quality and quantity of the stocks in the warehouses and the way the exchange itself was functioning. The last 1 year has had a lot of impact on the NSEL group companies, on investors and on commodity market as a whole. With more than one investigative agency involved, we have seen a lot of developments coming in. To get a complete timeline on what we have seen in the past 1 year, let's get a complete lowdown from Vijay.
Manish, as you're rightly pointing out, it's been exactly an year when July 31st of 2013, the first alarm bells were raised and the trading at NSEL was suspended. Subsequent to that, almost a couple of weeks, Ketan Shah and Anjani Sinha and his whole team of NSEL tried to defend and soothe the nerves, saying that the monies will be refunded, it's just a glitch and they will take care. Finally, on August 14th of 2013 is when they came out with a new payout plan. Unfortunately, even in the first date of that payout plan, it got defaulted. So clearly things were not functioning, and it was in the month of October when investigative agencies like the Enforcement Directorate and Economic Offence Wing got into the action mode after certain investors went and complained against NSEL officials and Ketan Shah with the Economic Offence Wing. It was the first arrest was made in this particular case by Economic Offence Wing of Mumbai on October 9, and on October 17th is when Anjani Sinha, the brain behind the whole of NSEL, was arrested by the Economic Offence Wing. Having said that, all the investigating agencies were trying to understand the whole business model, what went wrong, and it was in the month of December finally when Forward Market Commission, the commodity regulator, came without order stating Ketan Shah is not fit and proper and hence he needs to exit the commodity exchange. Also, the questions were asked why it took FMC as a regulator between August to come out with such an order only of December 2013. Having said that, moving ahead in the month of January is when the first charge sheet was filed by the Economic Offence Wing. As we know, till date there are total 9 arrests which have been made, and then going forward in the March, we all know the date of March 13th when CBI got into the action mode. Various locations were raided and Ketan Shah was grilled almost for close to 14 to 16 hours, and the first case was registered by CBI in this whole scam. And then it was on March 7th when the big arrest happened, when Mr. Ketan Shah was taken into custody along with Shrikant Javalgekar by the Economic Offence Wing. And in the month of June, that's on June 24th if I could be precise, the Sessions Court finally rejected Ketan Shah's bail plea, which was then challenged in Bombay High Court. As we speak today, Bombay High Court is very clear, they will wait for the 90 days period to end before the economic offence wing files the charge sheet, which is August 6, a week from now on, and then decide on the bail plea of Jignesh Shah. So clearly things have moved on various aspects, but the moot question is, where is the 4,600 crores? Would the money be recovered, or would the investors will have to wait for years, if not for decades, for getting the money, with the case getting stuck in the litigation process?
Well, absolutely, Vijay. The question really is whether enough has been done to recover the monies. But let's go on to the news that has just come in today, and let's also get on board Mr. Majid Memon, criminal lawyer, and he joins us on a phone line from New Delhi. Mr. Memon, hi, thank you so much for joining us. The latest, of course, on the case is that Jignesh Shah's plea has been deferred yet again, and the court will wait until the EOW files that charge sheet. What's your initial reaction to that?
Well, that is precisely what should be the approach of the court in a matter with such complicated areas. You know, this is a case where, as has been told right now, I have heard the gentleman talking to you now, that, you know, this is a matter which has several loose threads spread over in various directions. And therefore, the moot question is that small investors, poor people, who were lured or who were rather tempted to put in their hard-earned money, they must get their money back, is the first priority of the principles of justice. And the court would certainly try to ensure. We have seen, similarly the case of Sahara Shri, where the Supreme Court has been only trying to see that the money comes back. Because, see, keeping a person, whether it is Jignesh Shah, ABCD, keeping that person in custody is not the ultimate, purpose of implementation of law or justice. What is important is that the money must come back. And as far as Jignesh, because he seems to be the principal of accused in the case, his bail plea has been deferred till 6th of August, when Economic Offences Wing is likely to wind up investigation, and according to the statutory limitations will be required to file the charge sheet, or else by default he would be entitled to bail. So certainly on or before 6th August, we shall see a elaborate, documented evidence against him, which the court also will have benefit of access. The learned counsel who would be arguing for bail, or the learned prosecutor who would be representing the state as also the court, will have access to all the material, and on the basis of that, the court would decide as to whether, in the best interest of justice, this gentleman is entitled to bail or not. Now here, the bail could be declined for two fundamental reasons. This is what generally the law views the matter as. A is that the man is likely to abscond. You see, once, he gets bail, and after, his liberty is restored to him, he may jump bail and disappear. That would be one apprehension against which the accused will have to satisfy the court that this would not happen. And
Sure.
number two is that if a man is very powerful, then the courts are always on guard, because such people are likely to influence the trial that would take place or destroy evidence, which apprehension also is likely to go against the accused. If these two counts are probably satisfied by the accused, the bail might flow, because denial of bail is not a part of punishment according to the fair criminal jurisprudence and criminal principles.
Your point is well taken as always, Mr. Memon. Thank you so much for coming by and giving us that opinion. Well, just to tell our viewers on what Jignesh Shah had said on 25th September 2013, just a couple of months after, he said that he had lost the most, he is the one that he lost the most from the NSEL scam.
This company should not be judged by NSEL. That is my humble request. Together with Investor Forum and us, can go after the 23 planters who have actually taken money. And my request to them also, that it's important that small investors are really put in money. They should honor their commitment. But biggest loser is I personally. Reputation, loss what I have suffered, is of so high value.
Well, that was almost a year ago, but the monies are yet to be recovered from many of those defaulters. Ketan, let me come to you first. You have been part of the court proceedings as well. You also are heading a forum here where the monies are stuck. You yourself said that you have huge money invested into NSEL, which you are yet to recover. What's your sense on what really went wrong here, whether it was due diligence or whether it was the regulatory issues?
It's a bit of both. First of all, the scam was masterminded by Jignesh Shah and others at FTIL, including their finance directors and other promoters, with full blessings of Ministry of Consumer Affairs and FMC. If you check FMC, they knew since 2010 that anti-SG contracts are going on. Anti-SG contracts meaning this T plus 25 and contracts extending 11 days. They did nothing to stop them. In 2012, they were appointed as designated agency. They were collecting data. By virtue of that, they knew there are 13,000 people on one side and there are only 22 people on the other side. They never stopped that. They never acted. They never blew any whistle. They let it continue. They issued a show cause notice on 27th April 2012. Now let me read it out. It says the exchange platform allows trading on exchange without verifying whether the seller member has stock with him or not. And a show cause notice was issued to NSEL to answer within 15 days. Now what do? Nothing. After 15 months, they shoot off one letter and ask the exchange to stop all contracts after 11 days. Now, this could have been done, immediately after 15 days. Probably the scam size would have been only 10 or 15% of what it is now. They did nothing.
Sure point, Ketan. Yes, there are lots of things that we are looking at in sense of being a question mark here. But my really question, this one is to you, Mr. Dalmia. When it is two different parties grieving, when people are asking for money here, why are there two forums here?
Because 13,000 people are there and everybody is the way they want to do, they are doing work. They are all helping, all the forum is helping ultimately to the investors. Ketan is doing more toward the judicial side, we are more toward the executive side, the Delhi, the ministry and all these places. So everybody helping the investor only.
Mr. Khatua, this one is to you. As Ketan just pointed out that yes, there were issues not just from the company side, but from the regulatory side, from the government side as well. As a chairman, as a former chairman, where do you see some gaps coming in?
Well, when this NSEL was permitted to do the spot exchange trading, I think it came in the first week of June, when I had just joined about a week earlier. I immediately took up the issue with the ministry that you are permitting, giving NOC for exchange trading on spot market, principles. So at least FMC should have a look at the kind of contract they are running and whether they are violating the NOC principles and stipulations that you have made. But in the next 4 years that I was there, the permission never came from the ministry. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but I followed up with the ministry time and again, but the permission never came. The permission came only in February 2012, that is about 6-8 months after I left. And once the permission came and FMC had access to the type of trading that was happening there, it was obviously lending, borrowing was happening, which was not a spot exchange kind of activity, essentially NBFC kind of activity. So it should have been immediately stopped at that time. And whatever little information I have had thereafter access to, it shows that the volume of trading at that point of time in February 2012 was much less, probably around 10 to 15% of what ultimately blew up on the marketplace. So had the FMC, and it was clearly illegal contracts. So to gather data and information could have taken its own time. But when you see something illegal happening, you don't have to wait for the data. You have to stop the illegal activity and then find the data. So at that time, if the regulator had stopped these contracts, as Ketan very rightly said, the damage would have been contained, and perhaps the amount of losses could have been recouped, because that would have been probably in a few hundred crores and not a few thousand crores as it happened later on. So that was the main point at which the damage could have been controlled.
But the damage really wasn't controlled, because we did see many thousands of a scam done there, and many investors still waiting for their money, even as we have completed 1 full year since NSEL really suspended those contracts there. Mr. Agarwal, this question is to you. You are a part of NSEL at this point in time. What do you think? I mean, I'm sure you have access to all those books, all those papers that we don't have at this point in time. What really went wrong, and would you say that it really was about gaps on the regulatory part that led to this?
Let me tell you first here that I am the board of directors after the post scheme, and we all are independent directors today. It's not today that 1 year is already over, and not a single information about the whole scheme is not there, that everyone has all the informations. My role, along
that
with
doesn't sound very encouraging, Mr. Agarwal.
No, along with me and my all board members, our main prime agenda today is to recover the money from these 24 defaulters. If I or my team, if we put our resources in fighting the issue that the whose fault, where the money has gone, what the regulatory framework was done, right? Again, after 1 year, you will have the same discussion.
So what is NSEL doing at this point in time?
So now, what we people have done, you must have seen in the newspaper last week that we have tried to put before the whole society at large. These are the defaulters, their photographs, their property, and we, all members of the board, we are interacting with this, all the investigating agency. Any information you need from us, we are ready to give you. Last week also we have met everyone. Last 2 days back I visited to the Chandigarh, right, because almost 70% my money outstanding to the borrowers, they are from Sirsa, Chandigarh, Ludhiana. So we have interacted with the police authority, Director General of Police, and we have said that why so far these people are not been arrested.
Well,
right?
absolutely. A lot of investigations are being done, policies made as well. Information is also available, but what is not coming is the money.
So what is our thought process, that instead of filing and fighting on various platforms, let us constitute one SIT, right, and bring all these people on one platform, and we can dispose of. Otherwise, what will happen? I have seen last week when I visited to the EOW office, number of cars are lying outside, right? I was surprised. We got the car. Ultimately, the investor will get the money or not. So we have to see our judiciary system, legal system, and all investigating agencies should see that this is a very, very big fraud in our country. More than thousands of people, 30,000 investors already we have satisfied by paying at least through the E-series contract. You must have aware, 90% work which was within the control of the NSEL board presently. We have done successfully. Not a single investor has objected to this. Very transparent manner we have done it.
No, that is true. But the point still is that even as so many parties have come into this, we still have yet to recover the monies here.
Yeah, so that is the reason what I say that.
Yes.
Our MPID court, right, our EOW, our CBI officers, everybody is putting their efforts, right. I am surprised till today that how all these people are outside, knowingly that these are the defaulters. They have taken the money of very, very small investor, hard-earned money. I have been told last week that a 80 years old man who had the money in the fixed deposit had invested in the amount, right. So it gives a pain to me along with my all board member, right.
Well, absolutely. We still are awaiting on that the money really comes here. But I will get a view from Chirag as well onto this, because
one example I want to give today. We have certain outstanding with the NAFED, which is a Ministry of Agriculture.
Sure.
My MD presently, he is just following every day, right? When the due money to the NAFED with the government is still not coming, right? So somewhere somebody, because we cannot take anything in our hands.
Correct.
The judiciary, the investigating agency, everybody has to work together in the interest of the investors.
We still are waiting for all of those things. But Chirag, coming to you then, and a lot of fingers have been pointed not just to the company or the exchange, but to broking as a community as well, because you were the people who were selling this product to those 13,000 investors out there.
See, Manisha, one has, this has to be put in proper perspective and the right context. We are a part of the financial services industry, and financial services essentially means we are intermediating in these markets, which are essentially regulated markets. So most of the firms who were members on NSEL, if you would see, they were already members of the Bombay Stock Exchange, the National Stock Exchange, the MCX, the NCDX, and all before that. Now we were, for example, we were members even of the IEX, the India Electricity Exchange, which was promoted by the same FT group. So essentially the whole, the context is that there was an exchange, there was a FT group which was promoting various exchanges. In fact, we were, we took RBI permission, floated a subsidiary company in Dubai. We took membership of the DGCX exchange, again promoted by the same group. So till such time, our job as intermediaries in this business is to participate in as many regulated streams of businesses, because we ultimately offer whatever we can to most of our customers. So a customer who typically comes in or walks through the door is looking for access to equities, bonds, debts, fixed deposits, insurance, commodities.
Chirag, isn't the bottom line there that the due diligence was not done by the brokers also? Ketan, yes, you want to say something?
Let me add something to this. My broker also happens to be Philip Commodity. I have two brokers, Motilal Oswal and Philip Commodity, which is Chirag's company. Now, I never went to Chirag and said I want to invest into NSEL. Now, his company promoted or pitched it to me as a safe product and told me, yes, we have checked, stocks do exist, and regularly they induced me to invest. I have SMSs from people from Chirag's company saying 14% on steel, any more liquidity, I can show it now. So the brokers are not clean at all. Most of them, they were close to Jignesh Shah from earlier on. They have other connections, not just NSEL with FT/Jignesh Shah Group. They were active on other exchanges of FTIL abroad. So it's not as simple as that. And these contracts were ab initio illegal. The brokers with their research desk would have known that. Why did they not want investor, and how did they pitch those ab initio illegal contracts to investors?
Well, Ketan, then it really does go down the stairs. Everybody in this place would agree perhaps with me that there were regulatory gap, there was no due diligence done, maybe by the brokers, maybe by the investors themselves as well. But at that point, I'll really have to take a very short break. When we come back, we will really want to talk about on what lies in future now, whether the money would be recovered, how much would it be recovered, and what really needs to be done after this very short break. Welcome back, and we are talking about the NSEL scam. It has been 1 year and people are still awaiting their monies to be recovered there. Mr. Dalmia, this question is to you. As we were talking before the show started, that there are a lot of agencies involved at this point in time on various levels on how the money should be recovered and who really was at a fault. That really is not so important. But what's your sense? Because there is EOW, there is also other agencies, there is CBI as well looking into some matters here.
Most important thing is CBI should increase their reach, because they are able to reach all the states. EOW has a limitation. As per the EOW, they are not the recovery agent. The money will only come from the central government with the help of central government. The income tax has seized more than 60 crore rupees. EDS having more than 1,000 crore rupees of property. EOW has identified 3,000 crore rupees. But we don't know whether third party mortgage is there or not. The only thing, we can get money only if the central government interfere and everything coming under the finance ministry. We have requested for the corporate well. FT has 2,000 crore rupees already with them. If the corporate well has to be lifted, all the problem will be solved of the investors. ROC has already recommended to lift the corporate will. FMC also recommended, but still the corporate affair ministry is slipping from last 1 year.
Right.
We are expecting that from new government, we are expecting they should do something only with the help of central government. If they appoint someone to see that all the property has been seized, properly sell, then only we can get our money. Otherwise, we cannot get our money. You can very well understand, we have filed, and NSEL Investors Forum has filed one writ. 1 year has passed, we have not got the hearing. So, if you go to judicial system, the money will come after 20 years.
Yeah. Mr. Shah, if I could get you in at this point of time, this Vijay Iyer here, as Mr. Dalmia was pointing out, as you have also been arguing very vociferously in the last 10 minutes or so, the fact remains that both the forums have been working in their own little way, but maybe the objective is the same of recovering the money. But the fact remains, this NSEL Investors Action Group and NSEL Investors Forum, both not in sync of what they are saying. Jignesh Shah has taken the maximum advantage and ensured that things don't fall in line. What is your take on that? Because at the end of the day, you can keep arguing in the studios or you can keep coming out with facts and figures, but the fact remains, you have failed as investors to go to the court and convince the court that there was something wrong somewhere, and till date that has not happened aggressively.
Right. There's only so much investors can do. It is up to the judiciary and the ministry to take control of the situation and salvage it. I don't think they're doing their bit the way they should. And let me clarify, the very reason I had to form a new forum, that was because initially the NIF was controlled and formed at the instance of some of the top brokers who wanted to deflect attention from them onto borrowers. See, the money does not have to come only from those 24 borrowers, 23, 24 borrowers. Money can come from brokers, money can come from FTIL. We investors are not very fussy where the money comes back from.
Mr. Khatua, a quick 30 seconds from you also. What do you think the Forward Market Commission needs to do now? Now they are under Finance Ministry. Do you think there are more powers there?
No, the the spot exchange is a physical market domain, so there is a constitutional issue there, because physical markets are essentially the state government domain. It's only the derivative market which is assigned to the central government. Now the financial markets are a different category altogether, because there is no commodity involved. Now, therefore, the electronic trading of commodities through a spot exchange has some, those issues, legal issues, which need to be first tackled, while the crisis came, and therefore the government gave FMC the authority to do whatever they can to solve the situation.
Sure.
But otherwise, that legal tangle has to be first cleared. That's point number one.
Absolutely.
Point number two, as Mr. Majid Mehman very rightly said, the case has so many loose ends and so many legal interpretations and issues are involved. Lifting corporate veil is not so easy. I mean, it's very easy to emotionally blame the Corporate Affairs Ministry. But the point is to lift the corporate veil, you need a very solid case to show that FTIL and the accused people are one and the same, and there is absolutely no difference in their control, management, and everything. So unless you say that for a listed company like FTIL,
yes,
to say that it is one and the same as the accused, and therefore the entire assets of the FTIL should come to the aggrieved investors, is a bit too premature.
Mr. Agarwal clearly wants to hear.
Day one, the investors are saying only that FTIL Jignesha should pay the money. I think the 24 borrowers, defaulter.
Yes.
Right, everybody is aware.
That is right.
And people are, the investors are not behind. That is a reason. That is a reason for 1 year is already over. Just for fighting that the Jignesha or FTL has to pay. I am not here to advocate someone else. But main prime accused, everybody knows across the country.
No, I am only
why
pointing
the
out
people
the
are the
legal
investor
issues.
forum and everybody should go together. So tomorrow you want to say that knowingly these are the culprit and you leave it and you go behind someone else.
No, see the point.
There are emails out in public.
Chirag, I think you can have your last word and then
I think everybody should come together to see that the 24 defaulters, they are running freely here today. We put all our energy and efforts on this issue and recover the money and pay back to the investor. Let we see the corporate wheel and all the
well, absolutely,
and everything.
Agarwal, that would be the most important thing.
I think most important is that only.
But Mr. Agarwal, I like to kind of one small point here, which is we talk about going after the borrowers. Now the point is that a year has passed by. The borrowers have been dodging the system one way or the other, seeking adjournments in court. The MPID court is seized of the matter. They are hearing the matter.
FTIL and Jignesha or NSEL. It is a legal system of my country.
Well, there really are lots of issues. Well, absolutely. It's just that I am getting out of time here. But yes, as you all pointed out, we are really in a lot of mess here. Everybody needs to come together. Everybody needs to come together here. The ministry, the central government, and NSEL as well. And try to solve the matter and get the monies back for the investors. With that, thank you so much for being with us on this show.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.